Let's get started with our fourth module, that is code deploy. In this module, we will see the basics of AWS code deploy, its primary components, its benefits, its different deployment types, and how AWS code deploy works. We will also see the application specification file structure and how it will be used in our deployments. We will also set up the environment to work with the AWS code deploy. We will also see the AWS code deployment and how to work with application and deployment group. We will see some labs of how to deploy from GitHub. We will also deploy an app on Windows Server for both of the deployment types, and in this lab we will see how we are working with applications, deployment groups, application revisions and deployments. After that, we will also monitor the deployments using Amazon SNS. So we will cover almost everything regarding AWS code deploy. So let's get started with the basics of AWS code deploy. Code deploy basics. AWS Code Deploy is a deployment service that automates the application deployments to Amazon EC2 instances or on-premise instances. It scales with infrastructure, so we can easily deploy to one instance or thousands. Code deploy benefits, or we can say the code deploy features. There are basically 5 major features and benefits of code deploy. First is automated deployments. AWS Code Deploy fully automates your application deployment across your development, test, and production environments. The second is minimize downtime. AWS Code Deploy helps us to maximize the application availability. So it will minimize the downtime of the applications. Third is stop and roll back. We can automatically or manually stop and roll back the deployments if there are any errors. So it will save our time and also the performance for the application. Fourth is centralized control. We can launch and track the status of our deployments through the AWS Code Deploy console or the AWS CLI. So everything we can control through console or CLI. And the fifth one is easy to adopt. AWS Code Deploy is a platform agnostic and work with any application. So we can easily reuse our setup code. So it is very easy to adopt and work with. Now let's move ahead with the next topic. Code deploy components. There are some major components of the AWS Code Deploy deployment process. Let's understand these components to make the deployment process smoother. First is application. Application is the name that uniquely identifies the application which we are going to deploy. The second component is deployment configuration. Deployment configuration stores the deployment rules and deployment success and failure conditions for different phases while deployment. It is same as build spec file, but here it is application specific file. We call it as app spec, which also should be in YML format. The third component is deployment group. Deployment group contains individually tagged instances, Amazon EC2 instances in autoscaling group or both. The fourth component is revision. Revision is an archive file containing source content. Source content includes source code, web pages, executable files, and deployment scripts. And along with the source code, there is an application specific file. We call it AppSpec file. Revisions are stored in Amazon S3 buckets or GitHub repositories. The fifth component is deployment type. There are basically 2 deployment types available. And deployment type is the method we use to make the latest application revision available on the instance in the deployment group. The first is in-place deployment. Whereas in place deployment, latest application revision is installed on the instance. And the second is blue-green deployment. In blue-green deployment, every time the new environment is created for the new version of the application. The sixth component is IAM instance profile. IAM instance profile includes the permission required to access the Amazon S3 bucket or GitHub repositories where the application is deployed by AWS Code Deploy. The seventh and the last component is service role. Service role is an IAM role that grants permission to an AWS service so that it can access AWS resources. So all these are primary component of code deploy process. Let's move forward and understand the deployment types and how it works. As we have seen, there are two different deployment types available, that is in place and blue green. In place, the application on each instance in the deployment group is stopped, the latest application revision is installed, and the new version of the application is started and validated. Whereas in blue-green deployment, it provisions a new set of instances on which Code Deploy installs the latest version of the application. The instances in a deployment group, or we can say the original environment, are replaced by a different set of instances that is called the replacement environment. So it allows to test the new application version before sending it to production traffic to it. So an application can be installed and tested on the new instance ahead of time and deployed to production simply by switching traffic to the new service. So now let's see how AWS Code Deploy works in this both cases. First, let's see for the in place. How Code Deploy works for the in place deployment type. First, we will prepare our source code which is going to be deployed, and also we will define AppSpec file which contains all the deployment action we want AWS Code Deploy to take. Then we bundle both this thing into an archive file and upload it to Amazon S3 or GitHub. This archive file is nothing but it is revision. Then we provide the deployment information to Code Deploy. Deployment information such as from where Code Deploy needs to fetch the revision, on which instance it needs to deploy the application. Those type of information we will provide to AWS Code Deploy. Next, AWS Code Deploy agent on each instance ask AWS Code Deploy to determine what and when to pull from the specified Amazon S3 bucket or GitHub repository. And finally, the AWS Code Deploy agent on each instance pulls the target revision from the specified Amazon S3 bucket or GitHub repository, and using the instruction in the AppSpec file deploys the content to the instance. So this is how in-place deployment works. Now let's see what is going to be changed in blue-green deployment. Now let's see how blue-green deployment works in the case of Code Deploy. For blue-green deployment, we must have one or more Amazon EC2 instances with identifying Amazon EC2 tags or an auto-scaling group. And there are some prerequisites also for this EC2 instances. These instances should have correct IAM instance profile attached to them. And also the AWS Code Deploy agent must be installed and running on each instances. After that only we can implement blue-green deployment for Code Deploy. We will use Code Deploy to create a deployment for the deployment group. In blue-green, current environment is called blue and replacement environment is called green. We can easily switch traffic from blue to green and vice versa. Here when we deploy any app through blue-green deployment, instances are provisioned for replacement or green environment. The revision is installed on this instance residing in green environment. we can also pause the deployment and run our test and replacement environment. Once we are sure that the green environment is now production ready, we can switch the traffic from blue to green. We can shift the traffic all at once, or we can do at a weighted distribution. Once the traffic is routed to green, then green becomes the new blue environment. Instances in the original environment, that is blue environment, are deregistered and handled according to a specification in the deployment group, either terminated or kept running. We can monitor our environments, and if we smell something fishy, we can roll back and move to the blue environment again. So blue-green deployment offers a number of advantages over an in-place deployment, as rollbacking to the previous stable version of the application is faster and reliable. Also, we can test and install application on new instance ahead of time. So this is how we can use any deployment suitable for our needs. Now let's move forward and understand the AppSpec file structure. AppSpec file. AppSpec file is a YAML formatted file used by AWS Code Deploy to determine what it should install onto our EC2 instances from our application revision which were uploaded on Amazon S3 or GitHub, and which lifecycle event hooks to run in response to deployment lifecycle events. That we will see in the next slide. It must be named as appspec.yml and it should be placed in the root of an application source code. If it is not placed in the root of an application source code, the deployment will fail. So this is the must condition for the deployment to be successfully completed. Now let's see the structure of the AppSpec file. So this is the structure of an AppSpec file which is containing the different five sections for this file. First is version. Version is nothing but the version of the AppSpec file. Currently only 0.0 is allowed and it is the mandatory section of the AppSpec file. The next is OS. OS is nothing but the operating system value of the instance to which we are going to deploy our application. It is also the mandatory section. And if we are using the operating system Linux, then we need to specify as Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Server or RHEL instance. And if we are using the Windows operating system, then the instance will be Windows Server instance. The next and third section is files. Files provides the information to AWS Code Deploy about which files from our application revision should be installed on the instance during the deployment's install event. This will be one of the hooks we will see later. It is the mandatory section if we want to copy the files from the revision to our EC2 instance during the deployment process, and it can have multiple source and destination pairs. We can ignore it if we don't want to copy files during the deployment. The fourth section is permissions. Permission specifies how special permissions, if any, should be applied to the files and directories in the file section after they are copied to the instance. It is an optional section and it is only applicable to the Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Server and RHEL instance. The last and the fifth section is hooks. Hooks specifies the script to run at specific deployment lifecycle event during the deployment. There are different event available which we are going to see in the next slide. It is an optional section. So if nothing is present for any particular event hook, no operation is executed for that event. Now let's see the different application event hooks. Let's understand the event hooks. Event hooks we will use in our AppSpec file. The first is application stop. This deployment lifecycle event occurs even before the application revision is downloaded. We can specify the scripts for this event to gracefully stop the application or remove the currently installed packages in preparation of a deployment. The AppSpec file and scripts used for this deployment lifecycle event are from the previous successfully deployed application revision. The second is download bundle. Download bundle event is reserved for the AWS code deploy agent. So we cannot specify any scripts for this event. An AWS code deploy agent copies the application revision files to the temporary location during this event. The third is before install. For this event, we can define the scripts for pre-installed tasks such as decrypting the files, creating a backup of the current version. The fourth event hook is install. During this lifecycle event, we cannot use this hook to run the script. It is reserved only for the AWS code deploy agent. During this event hook, AWS code deploy agent copies the revision files from the temporary location to the final destination folder. The next event hook is after install. During this deployment event, we can configure the task such as configuring our application or changing the file permissions. The next event hook is application start. During this deployment lifecycle, we can define the scripts to restart the services that were stopped during the application stop event hook. The next is validate service. This event will be used to describe the scripts to verify the deployment. This all event hook will be used in the in-place deployment. The next is before block traffic. During this deployment life cycle event, we will specify the scripts to run the task on the instances before they are deregistered from the load balancer. The next event hook is block traffic. Block traffic is also same as before install and install event hook. It is also reserved for the AWS code deploy agent, and we cannot use this event hook to run our scripts. And during this deployment lifecycle event, internet traffic is blocked from accessing the instances that are currently serving the traffic. The next is after block traffic. So this event hook, we can specify the scripts to run the task on the instances after they are deregistered from a load balancer. The next event hook is before allow traffic. This event hook is used to specify the scripts to run tasks on the instances before they are registered with a load balancer. So we can say that this will be in our blue-green deployment, it will be for our replacement instances. The next is allow traffic. Allow traffic is also same as the previous one, and it is also reserved for the AWS code deploy agent. So we cannot use this event hook to run our scripts. And during this deployment lifecycle event, internet traffic is allowed to access the instances. The next is after allow traffic. During this deployment lifecycle event, we can describe the task on instances after they are registered with a load balancer. So this all are the deployment lifecycle event hooks we can use in our AppSpec file whenever we need them. So let's move ahead and start with our lab. Code deploy setup. So to work with the code deploy and to deploy an application on Amazon EC2 instances, we need to first set up some environment. First is provision an IAM user. So to access the AWS code deploy and services, we need to assign one policy to IAM user. The second is installer upgrade AWS CLI. AWS CLI is used to upload the revision to our code deploy project. We have already installed the latest version of AWS CLI. So we will just verify the AWS CLI version. Then the third is service role. To allow the AWS code deploy access of Amazon EC2 instances, to allow the AWS code deploy to work with Amazon EC2 instances, we need to create code deploy service role. And the fourth one is IAM instance profile for EC2 instances. So to allow the EC2 instances work with Amazon S3 or GitHub, we have to create one IAM instance profile for EC2 instances. So let's get started and set up the environment. So we have already one user created in our IAM console. So let's attach the policy to this user. Add permissions. We don't have any policy created for that, so let's create a new one. Here I have already mentioned the policy details in one file which I will be sharing with you. So let's copy this and create a new policy, that is AWS code deploy user provision, and let's paste our policy information here and let's create this policy. Once the policy has been created, we can see that policy here. Let's search with our policy name. Let's refresh it so that it will load here, and our policy has been loaded. So let's select this and click on next, and then let's attach this policy to the existing user, that is lab1 user. So that policy has been already attached now to the lab1 user. Our second prerequisite was to install or upgrade AWS CLI. As we have already installed, let us see whether our AWS supports the code deploy commands or not. So to check that, let's enter the command, that is AWS deploy help. If it shows all the related commands regarding AWS code deploy, then we can say that our version of AWS CLI supports code deploy. And here it is showing all the code deploy commands which is useful in our case. So we can say that our AWS supports the AWS code deploy. Now let's move to our third requisite. In our third prerequisite, we have to create the AWS code deploy service role. So let's go to the roles tab here and let's create a new role. And you have to select the AWS service role, and in AWS service role we have to choose AWS code deploy. So here is the AWS code deploy. Select this and select the AWS code deploy role. Click on the next. Give the name, that is AWS code deploy service role, and create this role. Once the role is created, you can see in the trust relationship the policies that is attached to that role. So it supports the code deploy.amazonaws.com. If you want to restrict it to some of the region, then we can mention that in this policy. So the service role has been created. Now let's move to the fourth prerequisite. The fourth requisite is we have to create one instance profile, IAM instance profile. For that, first we have to create a one policy, define that policy, and after that we have to create the role for Amazon EC2 instance, and then we will attach our created policy to that particular role. So first let's create the policy. Select the own policy here and give the name, that is AWS code deploy EC2 instance profile. And I have mentioned the policy details in one document which I will be sharing with you. Copy this policy and paste the content in this text area and then create the policy. The policy has been created. Now let's create the role and attach this policy. So let's create a new role, and in AWS service role you can see the Amazon EC2. Select this Amazon EC2 and now attach the policy which we have created. So let's search with that policy, that is this AWS code deploy EC2 instance profile. Attach this policy and click on next. We will give the name, that is AWS code deploy EC2 service role, and then click on create role. It will create our role and attach our custom policy. So we have provided the user provided the access to the user to for the AWS code deploy and other AWS services. Then we have provided the access to AWS code deploy for Amazon EC2 instances, and after that we have provided Amazon EC2 access of Amazon S3 and GitHub. So all prerequisites has been set up correctly. So now let's move ahead and start the lab of deploying an application. Now let's see how we can deploy an application. First step is launch the EC2 server. So first we have to launch the EC2 instance with the proper configuration. After that we have to prepare the source code, and then we have to upload it to the S3. We will also see the case where we will use the GitHub and code commit. After uploading the source code, we have to deploy the source code application on our EC2 instance, and this is how we can deploy the application. We can also update the code and then redeploy the application. So let's get started with our demo. This is EC2 console, and here you can see we don't have any running instance right now. So let's launch an instance. Here we will select Windows Server instance. So select this Windows Server instance. After that we are going to use this FreeTR instance type only. So let's select this and click on the configuration instance detail. Here we can leave this configuration as it is except IAM role. Here we have to select our service role which we have defined earlier in the setup instruction. And after that, in advanced detail, we have to provide the user data. Please note that if we are deploying any application using code deploy on any EC2 server instance, the code deploy agent must be installed on that EC2 server. So for that we will use this user data which I will be sharing with you. Let's paste this user data here, and this PowerShell commands will install the code deploy agent on the EC2 server. So let's click on the next. The storage we can leave as it is. Next is add tags. Tag is very important while working with the code deployment agent. We have to identify the instance using tag. So let's define the tag here. We will define the tag as name and value will be code deploy demo. So we can say that this instance key is name and value will be code deploy demo. So we can identify this instance using this key value pair. Now let's click on the next and configure the security group. Now if we want to access our instance using RDP, then this rule is defined. So we can access our instance using RDP. Now if we want to access our instance using HTTP or HTTPS, let's add the rule for that. Let's add the rule for HTTP, and now let's review and launch. Everything will be displayed whatever we have selected. Now let's click on launch. Now here we will if you have any existing key pair, then you can use that. Otherwise you can create a new key pair and give the name of that key pair name and download the key pair. This will be used to decrypt the password while logging in to that server. So I will use the new key pair name code deploy EC2 server key pair, and let me download that key pair. It has been downloaded. Now let's launch the instance. It will take some time to make the instance up. We can see in our instance list. Here we can see the state. I have 2 instances in the terminated state. So if the instance is terminated, that means it has gone. Nothing will be saved. Right now let's wait for this instance to be up, and let's wait for this instance to pass all the status checks. It will take some time, and once the all the status checks has been passed, we will move ahead. Now we can see all the status checks has been passed. So we can connect the instance and verify that our code deploy agent is running on our instance or not. So let's connect the instance. We can get the password by uploading our key pair. So let's get the password. Let's choose the file for this key pair path. So this is our key pair. So let's upload it and decrypt the password. Let's copy this. It will be used when we are connecting to this instance. Let's copy this password and download the remote desktop file that will be used to take the RDP to that EC2 server instance. So let's connect to this instance. It will ask for the password. At that time we can paste it here and it will allow us to make a connection. Click on yes. So this is how we can connect it to remote desktop to that EC2 instance. Now let's wait for this configuration to be completed. Yes, it has been set up. So now let's verify whether the code deploy agent is running or not. So to verify that, we have to open PowerShell, Windows PowerShell for AWS, and here we have to write the command to verify. So let's write the command here. The command is PowerShell.exe and the command name will be get service, which will check whether the code deploy agent is installed or not. So let's check that. It will show the status of the code deploy agent. So let's wait for this command to be executed. Here we can see that code deploy agent is running. So we can move ahead with the deployment process. So the next step is we have to configure our source code. So here I have already prepared the source code, which I will explain here. First, it is the simple HTML file in which I have just written the hello world in h1 tag and the title is also hello world. Other than that, it is containing nothing. So it is a simple hello world application and it will look something like this. Now the other two files are important. The appspec YML file, which we have discussed earlier. So let's see the structure of that. We have already seen the structure and usage of that file. So version is the 0.0 as recommended. OS is Windows as our EC2 is Windows Server instance. Now file is source file will be the index.html, which we want to put into this location so that it will deploy an application, web server application on our EC2 server. And in hooks we only want the event before install. So before install we want this file to be run. Other than that we don't require any hooks. So let's see about this file. During this files we are installing Internet Information Server on our EC2 instance. So it is simple PowerShell command. So these commands will be executed before installing our web application on EC2 server instance. So our source code is ready. Now to upload it to Amazon S3, first we have to bundle it and make a compressed zip file containing these three files into it. We have to be sure that it will not be stored under any folder. So we have to make the zip of these three files directly. So let's send it to compressed zip folder and give it a name hello world app. if you will see in that folder, it will directly contain these 3 files, not the folder and in that folder these 3 files. So the zip file is ready. Now we have to upload this zip file in our Amazon S3 bucket. So first, for that we have to create one Amazon S3 bucket. So let's move to the S3 console. Let's create a bucket, that is code deploy hello world app demo, and the bucket name must be unique around the globe. So if you will select any bucket and create once, you can't have that name again. Now click on the next. This bucket should be on the same region as our code deploy and other services are running, so please ensure that. And now let's create this bucket. Our bucket has been created. Now let's upload this zip file into this bucket. So let's drag this file and drop it here. So let's upload this file here in this bucket. So once the file will be uploaded into this bucket, we can see this file, it has been uploaded here. So now we can move ahead to the code deploy application. So let's go to the code deploy console. Here first we will create an application. Now we don't have any application created, so it is on the get started page. So let's get started with this. We are going for the custom deployment, so we because we are not preparing any simple deployment. In this simple deployment we have the sample source code ready, but here in our case we have our instances and source code ready. So let's go for the custom deployment. Here give the application name, that will be hello world app, and deployment group name you can give anything. We will give hello world stage, that is our deployment group name. First we will see the in place deployment. We are going to deploy on the Amazon EC2 instance, so let's give the key is name and value. You can see here we can see code deploy demo. Here the matching should be 1. 1 means only one instance is matching with this key value. If there are multiple instances matching this with value, then instance value will be 2 or the more than that. So that has been added. Now for deployment configuration we will select one at a time, because we are going for the in place deployment, so we don't have to specify anything here. Here for the service role ARN, we have to select the code deploy service role, which we have defined earlier in the setup instruction. And after that, let's create this application. The application has been created. Now note that first deployment we have to make it through command line only or AWS CLI. After that, any deployment we can create from here, but to deploy the first revision we have to deploy it from AWS CLI. So let's open the command line and deploy the revision from our command line for the deployment group hello world stage. Now to create the deployment from AWS CLI, this is the command we are going to use. Let's understand this command in detail. The first 3 words is to create the deployment. Here we are going to provide the application name parameter. In our case, the application name is hello world app. Then deployment config name will be code deploy default.1 at a time, which we have defined while defining the application also. Then deployment group name, which we have selected hello world stage. and after that description you can avoid it if you want to avoid, otherwise you can provide it. We have given that my type of deployment. Other than that, we have to provide the S3 location also. So here the bucket will be code deploy hello world app demo, which we have created. Then bundle type, here it is zip. Then e tag, you can get it from the when you will select the file name, and in this file when you will go into the overview tab, here you can see the e tag. So select this e tag and copy it here, and key will be the file name, that is hello world.zip with extension. So let's copy this command and paste it in our command line to create the first revision of our application. So once the revision is created, it will give us the deployment revision ID. As we can see, our deployment is created with the ID this, which we can see in our deployment groups also. Let's refresh this, and we can see this deployment is in progress. We can see all the details by clicking on this hello world stage. We can also see all the details, whether which action has been taken by clicking on the deployment ID. Here we can see the instance ID on which the deployment is performed. It has been succeeded, and we can also see the events log, that all the events has been performed and whether it has been successful or not. So all events are completed and our application has been deployed successfully. So we can see it by using the public DNS of our EC2 instance. So public DNS, we can get it from the description tab. Let's select this, and here we can see our application has been successfully deployed. So we don't have to create anything. If we will update, we just have to upload our code and run the deployment. It will reflect the change in our application immediately. So this is how we can deploy our application. Now let's see how we are modifying and then we are redeploying the application on the same instance. We have seen how to upload the deployment through CLI. Now in this demo, we will change the color of this text and we will redeploy the application, but now this time we will create the deployment using the console. So first let's modify our code. Here we will set the color of this text to red. So I have modified the code and have the color of this hello world to be red. So now let's save it first, and now let's create another zip file and then let's upload it to let's give the name hello world app 2, and now let's navigate to our S3 and let's upload that file in our bucket. So let's drag this file and paste it here. Let's upload this file in this bucket in which we have created our first revision also. Now let's create the second deployment using the code deploy console. So let's navigate to the deployments. Now let's create a deployment here. The application which we have to select, we have only one application and for which we are going to deploy. So let's select the hello world app. Then we can select the deployment group. So in our case it will be stage. Now if your application is stored in Amazon S3, you can give the location here, and if it is stored in GitHub, then you can select it here. But right now in our case it is stored in Amazon S3. Now in this location we have to select the whole path of that file. So let's go here and select, copy this link and paste it here. So it has already identified that the file type is zip. Now if you want to give the deployment description, you can give that it is revision 2. We will set the configuration at one at a time. Now all this configuration you can leave it as it is, and now let's start deploying. So it will start deploying, and we can see all the progress here that it has been created. Once you will refresh, you can see that it is already in progress and it has been completed successfully. So now let's refresh this page. This is our Amazon EC2 instance public DNS. So let's refresh and see whether we have our changes are appeared or not. So our changes has been uploaded and deployed successfully. The color has been changed properly and it is red now. So this is the simple process, the deploying all the changes and all the revisions by using the console. Now let's see how we can deploy the application using the GitHub. So now let's see how we can deploy an application by deploying the code from GitHub. So here I have created one GitHub repository, that is hello world code deploy, and I have also cloned that directory in my local machine. Then I have made the source code that is same as we have used previously in our lab, but the difference is in this code I have modified it, the text, that is hello world from GitHub. So we will deploy this application by using the code deploy. So first let's push these changes in our let's navigate to the code deploy hello world, that is hello world code deploy demo. Now let's add all the file in for our repository. Now let's commit them, that is code deploy from GitHub. All the files has been committed. Now let's push all the changes in our repository. So let's it will ask for the username and password, so I will give my username and password. So once the user has been verified, all the changes will be pushed to our remote repository. So let's refresh it and we will be able to see all the code. We can see the commit here. So commit ID is this, and all the changes has been pushed in our remote repository, that is hello world code deploy demo. So now let's create one new application. Or we can deploy this revision in our existing application, but before that we need to remove the index.html from our www root location, so that it will not copy again and it will not fail. So let's deploy the revision in our existing application. Let's deploy the revision. We have to deploy the revision. So let's select this deployment group and deploy the new revision. Now here application and deployment group is already selected. Now we can select that my application is stored in GitHub. So I have already connected my GitHub account with this code deploy but if you have not connected, then you can give the username and password and your account will be connected to this code deployment. Now give the repository name. In our case, the repository name will be this. Let's give the repository name, and commit ID you can get from here. So let's copy this commit ID and paste it here. And now let's deploy. It is in progress. We can see all the logs by clicking on the deployment ID. It is in the state in progress, and the most recent event is application start. We can also see the event log. All has been succeeded. So we can see in our EC2 instance public domain that whether our code from GitHub has been deployed on our instance or not. So let's see. By navigating to the public DNS of the instance. So let's copy this DNS. Here in index.html we haven't changed anything. So first let's change this file and commit it again. GitHub, let's save it. Now let's add this file. Now let's push this change. Here every time we have to give the username and password. All the changes has been pushed. Let's see again. Here we can see that 2 commits has been happened. So in a second commit we can see that the code has been changed, that hello world from GitHub. So this time we will use this commit. So let's deploy the app here again, deploy this revision. Before that, let's delete this file to avoid any failures. And now let's create a new deployment for the Hello World app. Deployment group will be Hello World stage. We will select the code from GitHub. Here the repository name will be Hello World code deploy, and commit ID will be our second commit ID. So this is our second commit. And now let's deploy. Let's refresh it and see the log. It is in progress. Let's go to the deployment ID and see the events. Now 3 has been successfully installed. Let's wait for others to get completed. Everything has been completed. So now let's refresh it and see. And see, here we can see that the text has been changed from Hello World from GitHub. So this is how we can deploy the application from GitHub. So in this lab we will see how we can deploy an application using blue-green deployment. And we will also use code commit and code build this time to deploy an application. So first we will use the auto scaling group and load balancer instead of the single EC2 instance, because we are going to use the blue-green deployment. So we will require autoscaling group and load balancer to deploy an application. After that, we will upload the code in our code commit repository, and then we'll build a project which will bundle all the files from the code commit repository and move it to the S3 bucket. And then we will develop a deployment project which will fetch the file from S3 bucket and will deploy an application in our autoscaling group. So let's see how it works. I have already created autoscaling group and load balancer for this lab. Autoscaling group creation is as simple as EC2. We also have to use the user data which we have used during EC2 creation for creating autoscaling group. Only difference is we just have to mention how many instances we require for the same configuration. So in this autoscaling group I have mentioned 2 instances. So for this autoscaling group 2 instances has been created, and whatever the application which we will deploy in an autoscaling group, it will be deployed in all the instances residing in that autoscaling group, and all the autoscaling group instances will have the same key and value. So here all 2 instances will have the name as code deploy AS. We can also see those 2 instances in our instances tab. Here we can see there are 2 instances named code deploy AS which are running right now. I have also created load balancer for this lab, and load balancer creation is also as simple as the previous one. Here I have created for the application load balancer and for the HTTP traffic. We just have to ensure that the availability zone must be same in autoscaling group and load balancer. Other than that, we can leave the default settings as it is. So autoscaling group and load balancer is set up now. So let's get started with our source code. Before that, let's see what application I have already deployed on the instances. So here in this instance we can see by using this public DNS, also let's navigate for the second instance also, so we can see what application it is being deployed on this both instances. Let's wait for this to load. Here it should be HTTP, not HTTPS. So it will show that both instances are having the same application deployed on them. So we will change this code, we will upload this code in our code commit repository. We will make the build project which will fetch the code from the code commit repository and upload it to the S3 bucket, and then we will make a code deploy project which will fetch the zip file from the S3 bucket and deploy the application using the blue-green deployment for this autoscaling group. So let's understand our source code. So here is the source code which we are going to upload in our code commit repository. So first let's understand it. Here in index.html we are going to modify by saying that hello world from code commit repository, and let's change the color to green and let's save it. So we have modified the index.html. Now in buildspec.html, which we have already seen that it will be used while working with the code build. So let's understand that. Here in install, pre-build and build phase, we have just echoed the messages. So it is just simple message. In post build, we have echoed the build completed on the date, I mean the build completion date. After that, we have used the zip command to zip all these three files into the file hello world app.zip, and we have also specified the bucket name. Here I will change the bucket name. We have to use the bucket which we are going to use while deploying the application. So let me create a new bucket here. Let's create a new bucket here. That will be code deploy, code commit, hello world demo. Let's make it small, as it should not be uppercase. And let's also make sure that the region should be similar as all the AWS services, and let's create this bucket. And then let's copy this bucket name and paste it in our build spec.yml file. Let me copy this name and paste it here. So it will make the zip file helloworld.app.zip, which will contain these three files, and then it will copy this hello world app.zip in this location. So our build spec file is ready. In artifact also we just require hello world app.zip. So our build spec file is ready. So other than that, the before install and app spec file is same as we used in the earlier lab. I haven't modified anything. So let's create a new repository now and upload this code. So let me navigate to the code commit console. Let's navigate to the code commit console. So now let's create a new repository, named it as hello world app repository, and then let's create a repository. Now let's clone this repository. So for that, let's open command prompt and let me paste the command here. It will clone the repository hello world app repo. So let's copy all this file, and once the directory has been created, let's paste the content. So the directory has been created, no, not this one, that is this one. Let's paste all our content and let's push this changes. So let's add this file first. Let's first navigate to our repository, and then let's execute the command let git add -s. So it will add all the files whichever is in that repository, and after that let's commit the changes. So and let's commit it. All the files has been committed. So let's push this changes into our master branch. All the changes has been pushed. So let's verify the same by refreshing the code. All the files has been uploaded successfully in our repository. So now let's create a build project for the same. So let's navigate to the code build and let's create a project here that will be hello world app build, and source provided will be the code commit repository, and repository name that will be hello world app repo. Here operating system Ubuntu, runtime environment anything will work, as we have just a simple HTML application, the latest one. We have already build spec.yml in our source code, so no need to describe right now. Artifacts we have already mentioned in our build spec.yml, so here we don't have to specify anything. And let's choose an existing role, that is our test demo service role. This we can avoid, and now let's continue with this and let's save this and let's start the build. Choose the branch master. Here we don't have to specify anything, and let's start the build. On the successful completion of the build, we should be having one hello world app.zip file in our S3 bucket. So let's wait for this build to be completed. Let me open the S3 bucket simultaneously. As it is in the download source phase, everything has been successfully completed. So now let's navigate to our bucket, and as we can see the file is already been uploaded in our bucket. So let's download this file and see what it is containing. Here we can see all the files we require while creating an application. Only those files has been in that zip file. So this will be the before installation batch file, appspec.yml, which is required to configure the application, and index.html, which is our application. So let's move to our deployment. So let's move to the code deploy console. So we will create a new application now for the blue green deployment. So let's see hello world app for auto scaling group using blue green, and the deployment group name will be hello world app as, and it will be stage. Now we are going to use the blue green deployment. So here in this case we will allow them to automatically copy auto scaling group. If we want to specify the instance, that what instance we have to use for the replacement environment, then we can select the manually provision instance. But as of now we will leave automatically copy auto scaling group. Now we have to select the auto scaling group. So my auto scaling group name is this code deploy stage, and this is the auto scaling group ID, as we can see here. Let me navigate to the EC2 console, and here in auto scaling group we can see the name. Now both the instances in that auto scaling group has been mentioned here. So and both the status of those instances are healthy. Now we have to select the load balancer. In our case I have defined application load balancer. So let me select the balancer, that is target AS. So it will route the traffic from original to replacement. Now these are the default settings, so I will prefer that we can leave it as it is. Now service role ARN we have to select, which we have created for code deploy, and everything is set up. Just verify once, and now let's create an application. Deployment group. So here it is, space is not allowed. So let's create an application now. Our application has been generated. Now let's deploy a revision. So let's deploy a revision here. Our application is in Amazon S3, so we have to use the bucket name here. So let me navigate to the S3 here. Our bucket is hello world demo and this. So we have to copy this link and paste it here. Deployment using blue green method. Now this deployment takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes to deploy an application on the replacement instances. So everything we can leave as it is, and let's start deploying. You can see here there are 4 steps. So first is provisioning the replacement instances, installing the application on replacement, then it will reroute traffic from original to replacement, and then it will terminate the original instance. We can also see in our EC2 console that other 2 instances will be added. Here we can see other 2 instances also has been initialized. All this process will take time, approximately 10 to 15. So once the instances will be provisioned, here we can see 0 of 0 instead of 0 of 0, 2 of 2. Once both the instances will be initialized and running properly, and then the application will be deployed on those instances. We can also check the instance activity by clicking on the instance. Here we can check the status. Here we can see this provisioning replacement instances has been completed. We can check here, now both are running. So it will take time. Now let's wait for another interesting event to happen. Now here it has started installing application on the replacement instances. We can also see the event here that in original environment what is the status, and in replacement environment what is the status. We can see the event logs also here, that what events has been executed successfully and what is pending here. So 2 instances will be in the replacement and 2 will be in the original instance. Now here the application successfully deployed on the replacement instances. Once all the events has been completed successfully, the status will change to succeeded. Here all the phases has been completed except this traffic phases. So let's wait for this phases to complete it successfully. And once the traffic will be allowed in our replacement instances, the traffic will be blocked in our original instances. And once those 2 instances will be up, it will also ask us to whether we should terminate the original instance or not. So we can check the code whether it has been deployed properly or not, and after that we can terminate the instances. So let's wait for that. Now as we can see, it has started the rerouting traffic to the replacement instance. So here we can see one of 2 replacement instances is now up. So here we can see the replacement instance, all the activities has been successfully completed. So that's why we can see the status has here that is one of two replacement instance. So one of two replacement instance is getting traffic now. So once both the instance will be getting the traffic, it will ask us whether we should terminate the original instance or not. So we can also open the replacement instance link to see whether our application is deployed properly or not. So let's see the public DNS of that. Let's copy this, and here we can see our modified code in the first instance, and once the second instance will also be in the succeeded stage, we will also see for the second instance, but in the original instance it will be hello world only. So we can test the changes, we can see, we can differentiate between those two changes, and if everything looks fine, then we can route the traffic and we can terminate the original instance. So let's wait for both the instances to be in the succeeded stage. Now both instances are in succeeded state. So let's open this instance also to verify our code change. So let's open this instance using public DNS. So it is also changed. Here the text is also changed. So now in the original instance it is hello world, and in the replacement instance it is the modified code. So here now we can compare those two code changes, and we can test also, and if everything looks fine, then we can terminate the original instance. Otherwise we can reverse all this traffic to the original instance instead of the replacement instance. So this is how blue-green deployment can be useful for this type of scenario. So now all the traffic has been routed to the replacement instance, but still original instance are in existence. So now in few seconds it will ask for termination of the original instance. Now here we can see all the traffic has been routed to the replacement instance, and there is no original instance is having any traffic. So it is asking us whether we should terminate the original instance or not. So let's terminate the original instance. We can also see here that it will terminate all those other two instances which is in the original environment. It will be shutting down. So let's refresh this, and in few seconds those two instances will be shut down. So our blue-green deployment has been completed. If we will see this, it will not be available in few seconds because those two instances will be terminated. Here we can see one instance has started shutting down, the other one will also take place in few seconds. The second is also has started shutting down. So this two application has been closed, and now the recent one is this. So it will be easy for us to modify any code change and production, and then route the traffic to that modified website, so that no other time gap will be there. So this is all about the code deploy. Now let's move ahead with our last module, that is code pipeline.